Hey everyone, Chloe here, and welcome back to this hypergamous platform, and welcome back to this life-saving soft power community. And if you are a new subscriber to this channel, hello and hi and welcome. So a very deep sigh and shaking my head to this nasty work of a marriage story. And for this marriage story, I wanted it to settle for a bit and to give it some much needed breathing space and some breathing room, just based on the high levels of deception and dysfunction alone. But so many of my followers have wanted me to speak on this case study and cautionary tale and this very embarrassing ongoing situation that a lot of women, particularly Black women, can learn from. And that is the unraveling of this pure fiction and this fantasy land that was created by Mrs. Rose, her husband Brett, and their social media platform called the Queen of Kings. Now, for house cleaning purposes, these two are married. They have a family to protect, so I do extend them grace. And hopefully they can work out their mental health issues and the quote-unquote tussling of their power struggles in private. You already know, as a married woman myself, and I have stated this before on my channel many times, and from the beginning of this platform, that marriage is sacred, and it is my personal belief that a marriage should not be up for public consumption. And the curse of what will happen to a marriage when it is turned into entertainment to be consumed by a hungry audience cannot be denied. This is why I wrote my best-selling book, Private, Not a Secret, because it is very important for women, especially feminine women and aspiring hypergamous women who want to be provided for wives, to understand that sustained success, especially in a hypergamous relationship, is built in the power of privacy, not for starving social media eyes. So one way or the other, y'all gonna learn that provided for women are rarely ever loud about their provided for lives, and that they have always made privacy a standard. And also, for house cleaning purposes, for my goofy swirler crackpots, and for my ear-hustling divestors who love to come for me. I say this with a soft power smile, but you all know that you and your bummy advice and your demented energy can go kick rocks, but this needs to be said. When a mentally stable Black woman chooses to date out, to expand her options, one, she does it because hypergamous dating is a numbers game, but also because she knows her worth and her value, and she has done the work to become the prize. This is what I teach the women in my feminine school called The New Feminine. So a Black woman who dates out and up doesn't need to give interracial dating goofy names to succeed at dating and marrying high-value men of other races and cultures who can provide. Key words: who can provide. Dating out doesn't need to be called goofy names because dating out is not an entire personality trait. It is simply called dating. And I've discussed this ad nausea in my videos, but my very Black and beautiful sister is successfully married to a Turkish Armenian provider, not a bum, and she has always been a day one stay-at-home provider for a wife, and she has never made it her business to pedestalize dating out or to goofily hand out unearned praise or to carry water for any man, and she especially wouldn't do it for bottom shelf Brad. But for those of you who are living under a rock, every Hive member and their mama has been sending me this very shameful case study of yet another Black woman fully providing for her Brad. Except in this case, the unraveling of lies is that much more egregious. Now, it is no secret that there are some Black women who intentionally hustle their interracial relationships for the coin because, let's face it, there is a market and a very hungry audience for that type of content, as there are droves and droves of Black women who play right into the fantasy of the optics and the aesthetics without ever once questioning its authenticity. Because the more fiction that you show them, the more that they tend to gobble up the knight in shining armor fantasy of being rescued. And the Queen of Kings apparently has hustled her relationship into 1 million+ YouTube subscribers, all based on mega lies and on cosplaying as a provider for a wife. And now, of course, the manosphere is dragging her and her duped and tricked following like there is no tomorrow. Turns out Mr. Paul Bunyan was a straight-up bum who slept on an air mattress in a ghetto neighborhood until he moved into her place. He lied, Kendrick Lamar voice, about having an outside kid. This man has publicly admitted to cheating on his wife and even having his mistress play in his wife's face. Queen has stated that her husband's family has called her Black sons the N-word and that she pays for everything, including the Range Rover that she publicly lied and told everyone that he bought her as a push present, and that she sells her body to her outside sugar daddy, and that she helped her Brad to get a job. And just late last year, Queen was campaigning for Black women to choose better. And this entire meltdown that was brought online and that I personally see as a cry for help has completely destroyed her credibility as an interracial dating and marriage content creator and as a person who sold Black women a complete fictional fantasy of being an abandoned single mother turned rescued provider for a wife, which is both yikes on a bike and completely bananas. But for now, let's get into the revelations of this very toxic public group chat, and I will be back with the rest of my commentary.
Let's not pretend that I'm the one that paid the deposit on our house. Let's not pretend that I'm not the one that paid for the Range Rover. Let's not pretend that I'm the one that paid for this whole fucking life that we live. Let's not pretend that. Let's not pretend. Let's not pretend. Oh, okay. Let's not pretend. Let's just be very, very real. You told me to put it on live, so I put it on live. So, and then you want to start talking about a glass of wine, and then you want to start saying, oh, are you not going to talk? After I was just sitting here silent before we even got on live. I've been not talking. I've been not talking. I've been not talking. So what are you talking about? Oh, okay.
Now, there are so many more extended versions of this embarrassing audio floating around. But the moral of the story is, turns out her Brad was broke, and as a Black woman, she made her Brad a stay-at-home husband, and as it turns out, Queen is taking care of a white man for a social media image. But the lies were a very heavy burden for her feminine divine to carry, and because of that burden, she let loose by outright disrespecting her husband, because in reality, she's doing all of the providing and the heavy lifting of the masculine divine. And it doesn't matter if a man is Black or white, but when a woman is outworking her man and a woman is the breadwinner in her marriage, she will become so bitter and resentful that she'll eventually explode. And that is exactly what happened. The weight of this delusional fiction that Queen was trying to sell to the people finally got to her, and it made her snap. And you can hear the pain and the resentment in her voice as she airs out her dirty laundry. Now, my thing is, ladies, if you're going to marry a poor man, whether Black or white or in between, own it. And I get it. Some women get desperate. Some women are really broken, damaged, and unhealed, and their self-esteem and worth are in the toilet. And sometimes the walls are closing in. And in Queen's case, she appears to have a very toxic relationship with her very own mother. And so many women who are in a damaged position will end up making a lot of poor choices and bad decisions because they lack a feminine education. But instead, Queen wanted to flaunt this man's image, and she played the very cunning, come get you one of these game. But in reality, she was too ashamed to admit that she married bottom shelf, and instead created a very diabolical narrative that pedestalized her husband as a stand-up man and provider, when in reality, her Brad was a bum. And I am so tired of seeing Black women do these kinds of performative antics to save face or to prove a point. Then they have the nerve to get angry at you for talking about the public lies that they try to sell to everyone about their Brads, which is all very dysfunctional and sick. Ladies, a bum is a bum is a bum. Bums and struggle love comes in all colors, and you can go argue with your gas station wig, but it is especially telling when a Black woman chooses to go 50-50 or even worse, to become a provider wife for the most financially privileged man on earth. So that is all that I have to say on this for now, but to keep this conversation going, are Rose and Brett still your couple goals? Do you feel sympathy for Rose and her current melodrama? And who is the villain in this hypogamous marriage story? Rose, the gaslighting fabricator, or her husband Brett for being a bum? Is social media the land of make-believe when it comes to romantic relationships? And why are so many Black women willing to carry water for broke white men? And as always, I thank you for listening, I thank you for watching, and I thank you for sharing this video to further grow this soft power platform. And please stay tuned for more videos to come, and I will catch up with you ladies and lurkers and ear hustlers in the next one.
Let's get into why it's so important not to idolize none of these couples online. Y'all familiar with Rose and Brett? You know, the interracial couple that got together and, you know, supposed to be so cute online and all that stuff? Yeah, they going through it right now. Let's talk about it. When I say let's talk about it, I'm not saying, hey, let's spill their tea, because I don't really care about their tea. But what I do care about is the fact that so many of us see people happy online and we be like, oh, I want to be just like them, not knowing nothing they really go through. This girl then said, oh, he came about to save my life, gave me nothing but good hope, changed me and my son's lives. Even hooked up with other like interracial couples to kind of make it seem like, all black women should go this way too. Only to now be on live and cussing him out, going off saying how he was a bum sleeping in somebody's basement, she paid for everything, and yada, yada, yada. That's why you got to idolize somebody in your family. Where your elders at? Where your church family at? And being honest, even they make mistakes. What they going through in their marriage, that's their business. But what I am telling you is what you going to go through and what you experience in your marriage, relationships, friendships, and anything else, that's your business. Keep it offline. Keep focused. Understand everything ain't what it appear to be, especially here. It's so many pretenders. What y'all think about folks that see other people happy online and be like, oh my God, I want that? Ugh.